Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome. We will get started right away since it's 8 a.m. So just come to lay on your backs. Get into a comfortable position. You can have your legs extended if you like, or feet planted onto the mat. Bring your arms alongside. Just turn your palms up to face the ceiling. Tuck your shoulders under. And just take a moment here, close your eyes. And start to focus on the sound of your breath. And as you inhale, try to let your belly expand fully, your ribs expand. And on your exhale, just focus on becoming heavier onto the mat. Just letting go of tension. Anywhere where it feels like you are holding on, just do your best to soften. Now let's take a few more breaths here before we start to move. And then just start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, circle your wrists and your ankles. I'm just drawing the heels together at the back of the mat. You can reach your arms up overhead, point the toes, take a breath in, find a full body stretch here. And exhale to relax. Good, one more like that. Breathe in. And breathe out. Okay, bring the feet onto the floor and start to draw the knees in toward the chest. Bring the arms around the shins and give yourself a squeeze. And keep your low back rooted onto the mat and just gently hugging the thighs in. You can stay like that or rocking side to side if you like. Just giving your low back a bit of a massage here. All right, let's keep the right knee in. Start to extend the left leg out. Interlace the hands on top of your right shin. And we're not here for too long. So on the breath in, you're pressing out through the bottom of your left foot, getting longer through the left leg. Exhale, squeeze the right leg in. And so breathe in, find that length. And exhale to squeeze. Just a few more like that. Just waking up the right hip. Good, left knee in. Right leg extends. Change the grip with your hands. Good, heavy shoulders. And squeeze that left thigh in with every breath out that you take. Good, and just about 3 or 4 more cycles here. Good, now draw the right knee back in to meet the left, arms around the shins, one more time. Good, now step the feet back onto the mat and extend your legs out straight. You're gonna reach the arms up overhead again. And now walk both of your feet to the bottom left corner of your mat and cross your right ankle on top. Walk both of your hands over to the top left corner of the mat. You can hold on to the right wrist here. So you're creating that gentle C curve with the body and opening up that right side. The backs of the shoulders are heavy. And hopefully feeling a stretch between the ribs on that right side. So as you inhale, really try to expand into that space. And softening on the exhale. All right, a few more. And then carefully just coming back through center, just resetting and then heading into the opposite side. So feet to bottom right corner, left ankle on top, hands to top right corner. Hold on to the left wrist. And try to draw your chin away from the chest so you can take deeper breaths. And try to relax the backs of both of your shoulders into the mat, especially that left one. And take 3 more cycles here. Good, so end of the third breath, come back through center. We'll take 1 more full body stretch here. Inhale, reach, point the toes, get as long as you can. And exhale to soften. Set the feet onto the floor. Right arm comes overhead. Begin to roll onto the right side. Again, so just hang out here for a few breaths. Let your right side get heavy. Breathing into the back body. And taking your time, we will come onto our front wide-legged child's pose. Good, so sit the hips back to the heels, relax the forehead into the mat. And just taking some deep breaths here, right across your lower back. Again, trying to expand to create a little more space. And start to press into your hands. Spread the fingers out really wide. Come forward into a tabletop position. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Untuck the toes. And take an inhale, belly drops down. Bring the chest forward, roll the shoulders back, and lift the gaze. And exhale, slowly rounding the spine. Press up between the shoulder blades and drop the head. Good, inhale. Scooping through the back, stretching out the abdominals here, lift up. And exhale, rounding slowly. Do 3 more, try to stay with that pace. Okay, last one here, breathe in. And breathe out. And come back to neutral, walk the knees back, tuck the toes under, lift your hips up to a downward facing dog. So feet are about hip distance apart. You can pedal this out. Just alternate bending the knees, give the hips a sway side to side. And just waking up the entire back body here. Good. Gaze comes forward between the hands. Just walk your feet toward the top of the mat. So bring the feet to their hip distance. Bend your knees a lot. Let your belly rest onto your thighs. Release your head and your neck. And maybe hold on to opposite elbows here. Just passively folding. You can rock side to side. Good, and as you come back through center, hands to the thighs, and slowly start to press yourself up all the way. I'm gonna step right to the top of the mat. Arms are alongside. We're just gonna move with the breath here. So take an inhale, reach the arms up overhead, look up. Bend your knees, exhale, and start to fold forward. Palms come to the shins on the inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold, heavy head. Press into the feet, breathe in, reach up all the way, get nice and long here. Exhale, hands to heart. So we're gonna do that a few more times. Breathe in, reach up. Exhale, fold. Good, full breath in, lengthen. Exhale, fold, heavy head. Good, strong core on the inhale, lift up. Exhale. Okay, one more just like that. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And a deep breath in, reach up. And this time on the exhale, you're going to interlace all of your fingers. Maybe you can't see mine, but it should look like this. Palms facing the ceiling. Feet are right together. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Take an inhale. And exhale, come up and over toward either side. Doesn't matter what side. Inhale, reach up, back through center. Exhale, switch. Good, breathe in, come back. And change on the breath out. So keep moving through that. Core is engaged here, so draw the navel in, try to stay heavy through your tailbone. Just getting a little bit deeper into the sides, into those intercostal muscles. I do one more on each side. So as you come back through center, separate the hands, palms are facing in toward each other, feet are together. Bend the knees and sit back and down. So relax the shoulders away from the ears. You can bend the elbows if needed. And we're going to move with the breath. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see. So on the inhale, straighten the legs, sweep the arms back behind you so you have a flat back. Exhale, bend the knees, reach those arms forward and up, sit down low. Good, so inhale, reach it back, flatten. Exhale, big bend in the knees, reach those arms up. Okay, with control here, breathing in, reach back. Exhale, come a little bit deeper. One more, deep breath in. This time on the exhale, you're holding here. Good, inhale, a little bit of a lift, just 1 inch. Exhale, sit down 2 inches. Good, breathe in. Breathe out. Last one here, inhale. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center and fold over your thighs. Good, halfway lift on the breath in. Hold heavy head on the breath out. Okay, one more like that. Inhale, halfway lift. On the exhale, plant your hands, step your left foot all the way back. So left foot comes back. You're right on the ball of your back foot. Hands come to the front of the right thigh. Find your balance. And then sweep those arms back behind you into a runner's lunge. Good, so legs are working really hard here. Try to soften the toes on the right foot, maybe even hover them off the mat. And your feet should still be hip distance. So it feels like you're standing on a balance beam, just widen the stance a little bit. Gaze is just forward, so bring the chin away from the chest. Good, stay low in the lunge. Arms come forward and up. Relax the shoulders. Maybe a slight bend in the elbows. Spread the fingers wide. Good. Every breath in, lengthen, lift up a bit. Exhale, come deeper into the lunge. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. This time on the inhale, reach up as high as you can. Exhale, open up to a warrior 2. So that left foot comes parallel to the back edge of the mat. Right toes point to 12 o'clock. Arms come out really strong here. So trying to create as much space as you can between the right hand and the left hand. So stretch them away from each other, but soften the shoulders at the same time. Okay, flip the right palm to the ceiling. Reach to the wall behind you. Stay low in the lunge. Feel that stretch along the right side. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Good, stay low. Come back, warrior two, full inhale and full exhale. Good, hands to the hips. Straighten the right leg. Heel toe your back foot in about halfway. Good, once you're about halfway, turn to face the front of your mat. Lightly step forward. Good, take a breath in here. Exhale, fold. Good. Deep breath in, palms to shins. Exhale, plant the hands and step your right foot back. Good, so coming into the second side of your runner's lunge. Good, whenever you're ready, lift the chest. Sweep those arms back. Left hip pulls back, right hip presses forward. Again, that back heel is lifted, front toes are soft. Make sure the arms are working here. It's like you're squeezing something right between your hands. Good, and feel yourself come a little bit deeper on those exhales. Just focusing on the sound of breath. Stay low in the lunge, arms come up. Relax the shoulders. Make sure your core is active, legs are working. And just breathing here. Okay, take an inhale, reach up high, open to a warrior two on the exhale. So we've been here before. Come back into that nice deep lunge. And reaching the arms away from each other. Stay low and breathe here. And left palm opens to ceiling. Reach to the wall behind you. Keep that bend in your left knee. I'm trying to expand the space between the ribs here on the inhale. Deepen on the exhale. And stay low, come back up, warrior two, 2 breaths. Beautiful. Hands to the hips, straighten the left leg. This time you're going to turn all 10 of your toes to that right side wall. You want the feet to be parallel or the big toes can be turned in slightly. Soften the knees and coming into a wide-legged forward bend. You want to keep a straight spine here. So if your spine is rounding like that, just bend the knees a bit more or place your hands up onto a block or a cushion or a chair. So we don't want to feel any pulling at all in our lower backs here. And every breath in, try to find a little bit of length. Exhale, fold. I'm going to take 3 more breaths here. So at the end of the 3rd breath, start to walk the hands to the top of the mat. Turn the toes forward, step into a downward dog. Spread the fingers out wide, pedal this out. All right, so you're going to come forward on your inhale into a high plank, and then just hold here for your exhale. Good, take a deep breath in. Bring the knees down to the mat, untuck the toes, and as you exhale, bend the elbows, lower yourself all the way down to your stomach. Moving through some spine strengthening here. Press down through the shoelace parts of your feet. Keep the gaze low. Take an inhale. On the exhale, start to peel your chest off of the mat. Little to no weight in your hands. Gaze stays down on the ground. So you're using the muscles that line the spine here. Try to avoid pushing your stomach into the mat. Draw the belly up and in. Just try to isolate the back as best you can. And make sure you're breathing here. Good. Take an inhale. On your next exhale, press yourself back. Tabletop to a child's pose. Hips to heels Good. Spread the fingers wide, press down through the hands. Inhale, come forward. This time the knees are already on the mat. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower yourself all the way down. Just one breath here. So inhale, hover the chest, hover the hands. And on the exhale, press back, tabletop, hips to heels, child's pose. And one more here. Breathe in, come forward. Exhale, lower. Breath in for cobra, find that lift. And exhale, press it back. Tabletop, child's pose. Okay, so from your child's pose, start to come up and bring your knees toward the top corners of the mat. So I'm going to walk you through a stretch for the quads, the hip flexors, the abdominals. If this one doesn't feel good in your body, just hold tight. I will walk you through a modification after this. So your knees, I'm just going to move back a bit so you can see your knees are at the top corners of the mat and you're sitting onto your heels. So already, if that's not feeling good, you can sort of push a pillow right between your feet, or if you have a block or a bolster. Hands come behind you, and then just lift the hips for a moment, sort of tuck your tailbone under, and you're sitting back into that sort of bowl shape you've created with your feet. So if you're already feeling this through the quads, the hip flexors, that's great. You can stay. If you need something more, you can come back onto your forearms. So if this one just doesn't feel good for your ankles or your knees, it is going to come onto your side. And then the top leg, you're going to bend the knee, grab the foot, and then just gently squeeze the heel in. And of course, you'll have to switch. So take about 5 breaths with one leg, and then roll just to the opposite side, do the other side. So I'm going to try to relax into this one as much as possible. Try to let go of any gripping, clenching. Soften the jaw, the forehead. And just breathe here. It's a really good one to start to practice, especially if you spend a lot of time working at a desk and you're sort of hunched forward. This just gives us the opposite effect, stretching out across the front of the body, chest, abs, hip flexors, thighs. I have about 5 more breaths here. Let's try to take your time. So at the end of the 5th breath, if you're back onto your forearms, just slowly start to rise up. And a really good counter pose for this is a downward dog. So you can plant the hands, come right into your downward dog. You can find any movement here that you like, anything that feels good. Okay, so we are going to move through pigeon today. And again, if pigeon doesn't work for your body, I will give you a modification. So just hold tight. So if you are trying pigeon, take an inhale, reach your right foot high. And then on the exhale, right knee comes to the back of the right wrist. So if you have a big space between your right glute and the floor, just slide something underneath to close that up, a pillow or a book. So just make sure that the weight is even through both of your hips. And if you'd like to walk yourself down onto your forearms, you can go ahead. If you are not doing pigeon, you can do seated pigeon. So just sitting, feet are parallel, and take the right ankle to the top of the left leg. So it's basically like a seated thread the needle, or you can come right into thread the needle if you like. And just try to soften the hands, the jaw. And just really let the surface beneath you support the weight of your body here. And just following that breath, every inhale and every exhale. And usually in this pose, our minds start to wander. It's one that we hold for a little bit longer. So just notice if you're starting to drift away. Just try to stay connected to that rhythm. You have about 5 more. And so if you are in pigeon, you can start to rise up into a downward dog. If you're in thread the needle or seated pigeon, just plant the feet and give your knees a sway. Okay, let's try the left side. So whenever you're ready, toes high on your inhale, and then knee to the back of the wrist on the exhale. Might be slightly different from side to side, so just keep that in mind. Adjust wherever you need to. And then right back to that rhythm of breath. Let's try to find the very top of the inhale. And exhaling fully. And then take your last 5 breaths here. And then end of the 5th. And if you were in pigeon, come to a downward dog. Or just plant the feet and sway the knees. All right, let's lower the knees onto the mat. Sit onto either hip. Bring the feet out in front of you. And just slowly come onto your back. Right away, you can bring the soles of the feet together. Let your knees fall open. Bring your right hand to your stomach, your left hand to your chest. Tuck your shoulders under. And just try to let your breath slow down completely here. Okay, so this is where I leave you this morning. As always, just mindfully rising from your mat. Try to move slowly. Thank you for coming. It's nice to start the day with you all. I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy the snow, I guess. And I'll see you next Tuesday at 8 a.m.
Thank you, Annie.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.